Hi, this is the application how to create iOS Swift application for SAP data. Okay, this is my website. You could use it. Click on that link. And first, what is really important is to name our application. This is the name for SAP program, and it's very important to keep that name because this is the way how will application iOS Swift application will find the proper data object. It's good also to put a description for the program. And now it's coming the part where we are going to enter the SAP tables. I choose the VBAC header table, VBAC item table, and then I choose the customer table. I just choose the list of the tables that I'm interested to show in the application. Then I click on that icon and it shows me all available fields for the table VBAC, VBAP, and KNE1. I choose couple fields just by click check. I think I choose the sales order number, creation date, customer, material number, position, material description, and also I will look for customer data like the name, city, street, state. And when I select all fields that I'm interested to show in my app, in my Swift app, I'm still looking for a couple of fields that I was planning to do. Okay, this is my customer field that I am interested to just for the purpose of this tutorial to show you. And then I click on this icon to add the fields to my selected fields. There are a couple more important things like you could choose if the field will be select parameter or parameter. This is more for our SAP part of the application. Also, this is important ID. We need to be, this area code will be unique. It means I choose the fields that will create a unique key. And then my application will have a header part and detail view part. You will see later, but generally header part view because the iPhone, it's a small screen. I have to just choose the most important field I would like to see in the first screen. And if I choose more than the screen will handle, application will not allow me to add these fields and has to be part of the detail view. I could also change the sequence of the fields. This is more better. Now I'm switching that because if I look to the header view and then I look to the detail view, it would be nice to have a same sequence of the field. This is more like the look and feel. And generally also I could say how I would like to sequence the fields in my application. This is how I'm deciding. This again for SAP part, it will create program which will export data to staging area. And because when I will test this program, it will be nice to have, for example, drill down function. The other important things or interesting things is I could exclude it from detail view some fields that I'm not interested to see. For example, could be a field that I'm using for selection, but I don't want to see them on my report. This is the next page where I am just putting my email address just to get registered. And now you see it creates 4 codes. First code is for SAP program, and then there are 3 codes for the iOS application. It creates an Apple delegate class, it will create a view control class and detail view control class. First, what we will do, we'll go to SAP and we will create the program that will export data from SAP databases to our staging area. This is my SAP program name. Please don't change that name before you start this application. Think about some unique name for this program and stick with that name, because the Swift part of the program will use that as a linking point to look for the right data object. I create just SAP program to SU38, put the description for a program. It'll be executable program. And then I decided to create my program. It will be local object. I'm not going to transport to production. Okay, then I go back to my website where I generated code, ABAP code, and I will Control A, Control C, and pass the code that I created for. Okay, I just activate the program. And it was successfully, and now you will see my program. The program has a test mode, and also has a, you see it populated the date, actual date. When we run our, yeah, it doesn't show any data because today we didn't change anything. But in actual run, it will be run, for example, every hour. It will just grab the new data and pass them to the staging area. It means this program has a delta feature. It doesn't pass everything every time. We will run in a test mode just to see if we are able to grab some data. Yes, we have some data. And you see the naming. This is the short description in SAP. And this name will be also in a Swift application query. It means before I will move data, I will just change the description of these fields. This is the LV report. I will go to the subroutine that I specify for that. It's say display results. I think it's display results. And you could see all fields there going to staging area. You see also description. I'll change the description to sales order and something that is more understandable for people outside the SAP world. I'll go through all these fields. I'm not really happy with the naming. I'll just change the name because this program will create a JSON file, and as we know, in JSON file, every time when I will export data, it will carry the name for the field and also the content. In the future, if I find out I would like to change some description for some field, no problem. I could come to this program. I will just change the description. And my Swift application will look for the last file, imported file, and grab the description for last imported file. Oh, this is really important. Don't change it to the sequential of the fields. It means if you want to change it, then it requires change on SAP side and on the Swift side, and could be more complicated than this easy exercise. I change all fields there, interested in. And I will see again if I successfully change the name of these fields. Then I'm going to export to staging area. I'll put the data range. What is important about this program, it doesn't use any custom table. It means generally if you bring this code, it will be working with your SAP box. Yeah, we export the data and we see better description for our fields that we are going to export. It means I will unclick the test button and I will execute the program and generally export data from debug CAN-A1 to staging area to be ready to be grabbed by iOS application. As I said, this program has a feature by itself. It already generated a feature that will just grab the delta. It means next time will be run, it will populate the actual date, and it will just move forward the data from the change management table, just the new data, not the old one. It means our staging table will have just content. There will be no duplicity on the content. Okay, we create SAP program, and the next step we are going to create Swift application. I create new Swift application, single application, and I put the name for this application. This name is not important. It doesn't, it's up to you how you will name it. As I said, most important is keep the SAP program, the name of the SAP program. Because we generate the Swift code, and in a Swift code we have the SAP program as an ID for when we are going to look to SAP for proper object in a staging area. I have an Apple delegate, and I delete the content from Apple delegate and go to my website where I generate code for Apple delegate and pass that code to Apple delegate class. Then I go to view control, delete the content, and again copy content from generated code. And then next I will have to create one additional class. It will be detail view control class. It means I will do file, new Swift file, create. The name of the file will be detail view control file. It's very important the name will be detail view control file. Please keep it like that. Okay, I delete again the content of that class, and I'll go back to my web page and copy the content of the class to the detail view control class. Okay, now yeah, I'm just close my Xcode. It means I will just check if my content it's not there. I will pass the content to detail view controller, and I'm ready to compile the code. And I build the code, and you see there is no errors. Successfully. Now we will move to the next part, which will be to see actual application, how it works. Let's see our new IS Swift application, how it works. Okay, I'll run the program, and I see the empty table view. The reason is because at this moment it's pulling the data from SAP, the function behind is a background, and now we have a data from SAP. You see the columns. You could filter the content, just specific content. It's going across all table, all fields. And you just see just 2 fields right now. Then if you delete the filtering, you will see all records or whatever where you stop is filtering. We select 2 fields. We could send them by email. It create HTML table, and we could send it whatever and say, could you look to that things and do something with that? We could delete the records because if we are not interested to have them in our iPhone, or we could see also details. Remember, we have a lot of fields that we pull to this application. We could see details for every record. There's a lot of powerful functionality behind that application. I think enjoy it. There's one small piece that it's not here, and this is the BSP application. Generally, it's one BSP application that will give you options to generate Swift application, call that BSP application and pull the proper data object. And I'm going to, in the same page, I'm going to show the code that you have to do. Very easy, small BSP application.